Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to Savvy, the show featuring entrepreneurs, authors, and people with a passion. My guest tonight is an author and a very passionate motivator, Malena Crawford. Malena, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself before we jump into all of the great things that you do?
Absolutely. Hello everyone. My name is Malena Crawford. I'm a writer here in the DC area. And my passion is just really about changing the way that we women of color experience ourselves and see ourselves as we heal. So everything I do is wrapped around that passion.
That's great. Thank you, Malena. I saw from your bio on your website that you have a very compelling story about how you went from being homeless to creating a six-figure income.
Yeah.
And also helping to transform others as well. I just think that is so powerful. Can you just tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was second oldest of 8, and it's true. We had many homelessness experiences through my childhood and through my adolescence. And to shift that required aligning with what I really wanted out of life. And just really knowing that I was worthy of more than poverty, more than the chaos that I had gone through, but worthy of abundance.
Right.
You know, so that took making the choice first and foremost that the cycle ends with me, that I wasn't going to experience that anymore.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So in your book, and well, maybe not so much in your book, A Fistful of Honey, and folks can see the workbook, and we'll get into that in a minute, but
Yes.
you've written a very powerful book called A
Fistful of Honey.
Okay, I love that title, and it is a novel.
Yes.
So can you tell us about A Fistful of Honey?
Absolutely. So A Fistful of Honey is actually, it started with the healing process for me. So the book, of course, is a work of fiction, but a lot of it is loosely based on my own life. And so honey is very special to me because it's the only substance outside of breast milk that can sustain human life. Honey
doesn't spoil.
And honey does not spoil. That's right. So honey to me has this quality of that is a symbol for the sweetness of life, the victory of life, abundance, all the things that make life sweet. And in the book, A Fistful of Honey, our main character is working towards her honey. Okay, she's got a lot of challenges, but she realizes that her ancestors have already paid quite a price for her to enjoy this honey.
Right.
And so it's really my own tale of getting to our honey, you know, working through all these setbacks and traumas and things like that, and realizing they're really gifts from God. These experiences are not curses. They're really gifts from God to bring us into our purpose and who we're destined to be. So
almost how diamonds come about. They start out like ugly lumps of coal, but then, you know, once they go through that process, look how beautiful they are. So, you know, just hearing you say that, that's what made me think about diamonds.
Yeah. Add a little pressure, and you've got something
beautiful. You have a beautiful stone. So when you talk about Fistful of Honey, I also saw on your website you mentioned something about helping women find our secret sauce. So what is our secret sauce? Is it honey or is it something else?
Okay, the secret sauce. So honey actually stands for, in addition to writing, I coach a lot of women, and I have something called the honey experience. So I'm not going to spoil it.
No, don't.
But the secret sauce really is our story.
Okay.
And really accepting the beauty in our story, uncovering the strength in our story. There are a lot of diamonds, like you said, to mine from our story that's all pointing to exactly what we want to manifest.
Gotcha.
And so I help women to get to that secret sauce and to just really embrace exactly who we are. So
Okay.
that's part
That's just
of
part
the
of
secret
what
sauce.
you do.
If you
Okay.
want more, please, you have to come to the honey experience, and it's so much fun.
So are you having a honey experience sometime soon?
We will have to, I'll be in South Africa next month, so I had to cancel that honey experience. But if you go to my website, malenacrawford.com, and sign up for my newsletter, you will know all of the events and you won't miss a thing.
I think I'm going to come to the next honey experience. You have me interested now.
Yes.
'Cause I thought I had found my secret sauce, but maybe not.
Well,
There's still time to, because I think we're always evolving.
we're always evolving. As long as we're alive, God is not finished
He's
with us
not finished with us yet.
So you might have found a good portion of your secret sauce, but there's so much more to come and uncover.
Well, the last motivational workshop that I went to, I uncovered this, that I wanted to be a talk show host.
Yes.
And so, I don't even know where that came from
Mm-hmm.
because I don't even like to talk that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy talking to my guests and hearing all these great things. I like hearing people's passion.
Yeah.
And, I saw, when I read about you and I saw your passion and I saw your book,
Mm-hmm.
and, it just came across and, just having you here in the studio, I'm feeling your passion. So that's is helping people to communicate their passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even know that I had that passion, because I'm a writer as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that was one of my passions.
Mm-hmm.
So, followed that passion into 6 books now.
Yeah.
So, who knows? I'm looking forward. I'm going to sign up for on your website for your newsletter and look forward to coming to a Fistful
Absolutely.
of Honey.
And it's amazing when we follow the breadcrumbs, right?
Mhm.
That life puts out for us. I love it.
So you also talk about something else on your website called lightning fast manifestation. Now, I know I've seen God work in my life lightning fast, but then other times I think, okay, God, where is it?
Mhm.
Where and when? But I know it's not my time, it's God's time.
Right.
So tell me about your experience with lightning fast manifestation.
Well, we always have to respect divine timing.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad. But also a huge part of it is alignment. So I believe that God sets out these gifts for us. If there's a desire in our heart, that means that the correlation is out there in the world.
Absolutely.
And so it takes a bit of aligning. And so for a lot of us, our manifestations are blocked simply because our beliefs won't let us receive them.
Because we sort of have restricting beliefs sometimes.
Right.
Mhm.
So if we have a belief that we haven't dealt with of unworthiness, we want love or we want money, but somewhere in the back of our consciousness or in our mind or in our heart, we're not worthy of it, we can pray all day long and God can put it out there.
But I think, just hearing you say that, I think that, we may want it, but like you said, if we feel that we're not worthy,
Right.
then God is not going to give it to us because we're not ready, because we
Right.
feel that we're not worthy to receive that gift.
Right.
Is that what you're really saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so that's why I love working with people around story, because until you transform that story, you'll be living it out. You'll continue to live it out. So if you have a story where you don't deserve, no matter how much you want that manifestation, it can't come until your story transforms.
So is that what you mean by lightning fast manifestation? Like if we change our belief about, what we're worthy of, then we'll see manifestation a lot faster? Is that what you mean?
Change your belief. Make the decision. This is key. Make the decision that you will have it or you will experience it no matter what. So moving with confidence, aligning with faith, and then you will see that thing shift.
I love that.
Like
I love
crazy.
that.
And I have seen it time. Yeah.
I love that,
Yes.
Malena.
Thank you.
So I want to mention that Alina Van Zant praises your book, A Fistful of Honey,
Yes.
and to quote her, she says, "A fistful of honey is a rich, poignant, page-turning bomb of a book."
Yeah. I'm so
And she goes on to say that your book is a life changer. And, that's pretty powerful coming from someone like Iyanla Vanzant. If anybody, knows her story, she was very successful. Then she had a little bit of a downturn, and then look at her now, own network. So, that must be, quite an honor to have her say that about your book.
Yeah.
So, I say all that to lead into, telling us a little bit more about A Fistful of Honey. I mean, you told us why you've written the book, but why do you want people to read A Fistful of Honey?
Absolutely. So one of the things is that it's raw. It's a real story. It is pain. It's real life, and so
transparency.
Transparency. And I think the readers can really feel what Alina is going through, and really, they can see a part of her, or they can see themselves in her. So A Fistful of Honey is about a woman, Alina Ford, who, if you catch, that is half of my name.
Yeah, your name, yes.
So I'm offering up an old part of myself. But she, in the beginning, she's very haughty. She is very, she believes that as long as she has all these things and all the success, that it will insulate her from racial injustice and from her painful past. And she quickly learns that it will not. It will not save her. So she tumbles down the rabbit hole, as often
as we sometimes
often
do, right?
And that's where the greatest healing comes, at the breakdown. And so this woman is having a heck
wow.
breakdown.
Wow.
And but that's also where the magic begins. That is the point that she has this incredible adventure. It really is a page turner. But inside of the entertainment piece, you're watching a woman completely move through a healing process and into her divinity as a Black woman. So we talk about racial injustice there. We talk about, what's happening. The book was really inspired by the Trayvon Martin case.
Oh, okay.
So after his murder got off, I just had a whole lot of anger, and I wanted to know from God, like, why do Black people, brown people keep going through this injustice? And so A Fistful of Honey really is the answer that I received to that. And so you watch Alina learn exactly what I received. You will watch her learn how to face her pain. We talk about healing, but healing is not easy.
No, it's not.
Transformation is
it's
not
cute. Easy. Yeah, it's not easy.
So we watch a transformation process, and I think it touches so many readers because, and I'm talking about men and women. It's not just women reading this book, but I think it touches so many readers because it's real in all of us. This process is real in all of us, and it just really has helped a lot of readers work through their own processes. So I want them to read it because I want them to know that they're worthy. That is the main reason.
That's your main message?
That I wrote this book.
Okay.
We are worthy, we are worthy, we are worthy. Black women, Black men, we are divine. And there's so many messages out here trying to, say the very opposite.
To the contrary.
Devaluing our lives, but most importantly, devaluing our humanity. And so this book is like, oh no, not only is your humanity worthy, but you are the key. You are the key to this whole thing. So it gets really deep.
I can't wait to read it. I can't wait to read it. Okay. So let's talk about the workbook, A Fistful of Honey.
Yes.
It says, healing, creating your honey sweet life. I just love all of your phrasing and just how you just take for power. I mean, I just think there's so much power in, what I've read about you and what I know about you so far. So let's talk about this guide to awakening, healing, and creating your honey sweet life.
Yes, let's talk about it. So I got such an overwhelming response from readers who were deeply touched, didn't know where to go next.
Okay.
I want to heal. I want to let all this go. I want.
Well, people say they want to key thing that you've already said is that healing is not easy.
It's not.
Healing is not, laying in the bed and covering your head and saying, okay, God, I'm here, heal me now.
Right.
It's going through, sometimes very painful processes and metamorphosis,
Right.
to really get, like we talked about before, the diamond, starts out as a coal and has to go through the heat and the pressure.
Right.
If that were a human, can you imagine, the pain that it is traumatic.
Healing is traumatic.
Healing
yeah.
is very traumatic, but on the other side of all of that, like we've already talked about, can be a tremendous blessing.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and I can, I'll speak for myself, is, and from others that I have observed also, is that we don't want to go through the process.
Right.
And other folks that I've talked to, just, like even girlfriend talk, it's like sometimes the path to your blessing, it's not a straight line.
Right.
And, God takes you around, some obstacles and stuff because you may be blessing somebody on the way.
Right.
You may be wondering, okay, so why do I have to go through all of this to get to this blessing? I see it, but, there's some strengthening that God may be taking you through. And again, you may be blessing some people on the other side, and he may be making sure and preparing you, like you've already said, like making sure that you within yourself feel like, okay, I'm worthy to receive this gift.
Right.
And not only am I worthy, but I'm ready.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just writing this book has changed my entire life. And it has helped me to heal tremendously. So the workbook is a blueprint through that process. And I know it's not, you can never heal just you by yourself, even though it's a very individual process. So I understand it takes community. It takes a lot of energy to face yourself.
But how does that work then? Because healing is a very individual process. So just because I'm healing doesn't mean the people around me also are ready to heal. So how do you, what's your recommendation for that? I think you're right, but how do you get folks on board?
Folks on board? Well, number one, I'm all about community. And choosing, you can choose your family, maybe not your blood family, but people that
your circle,
exactly. Your coaches, things like that. And it's going to take conversations that you don't want to have,
And again, it's those candid conversations.
Yeah, candid.
Because if you're bringing someone on board into your healing process, then I think you owe it to them to be very honest and candid about what you're healing.
Exactly.
And what you need from them in that healing process.
Absolutely.
So is that in the workbook? Sort of how to do some of that and...
Well, we talked this. So this is a blueprint for healing and then manifesting. So they would have to, of course, shore up their own communities. I wish I had a community inside the book. But if
but how to actually go about creating, creating your circle of trusted folks to heal with you. That's what I would. Yeah.
So we talk about your honey tribe.
Oh, okay.
And who's in it.
Okay.
And who doesn't be in it. Be very careful about toxic.
Yeah, like sometimes you have to eliminate toxic people.
Yeah, and even when you're sharing your healing process, it's not fodder for everyone.
Right.
You can't share your shame story with someone who's about to judge you and maybe even gossip about you.
Right.
So being very discerning about who's in your tribe, and having no shame about putting a therapist in your honey tribe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or, someone that you trust to help you with the mental support and the emotional support.
I think that's important too because, that's a whole nother show, but I think we, as people, shy away from the professional mental assistance that may be needed sometimes in our healing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. In fact, I have a therapist, and I don't know, how I would make it without it. Because you wear your friends out.
Sure.
You will wear them out.
Them out when they start turning the other way when they see you, right?
Right. So,
Well, hopefully a paid therapist wouldn't do that, so.
Well, hopefully not, So, Yeah, I just pray that that stigma finally breaks. I love the
Yes.
work that's being done in our community,
Mm-hmm.
like with Jennifer Lewis,
Yes,
her
I've
talk
seen her.
about her
Her
bipolar
bipolar,
condition.
right? That's right.
But absolutely not. Therapy is self care. Therapy is one of those tools that's in hopefully, you know, if it's not cost prohibitive, something that it's in your toolbox. In the in the blueprint, I mean, we have it all, and I like it because it's like step one, step two, very, very practical things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who do you need to forgive, and who do you need to be forgiven by? You know, what exactly is your story? You know, to see it right there. What's
Mm-hmm.
holding you back?
So how long does it take to go through this blueprint?
hmm It's all self-paced.
Okay.
I don't think I could say for for anyone. It's also what's your commitment level to it. Are you gonna let it grow dust on your shelf? Or are you really gonna commit to yourself and give yourself the gift of healing and moving to the next level? I mean, we're going into 2019 here shortly.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And life isn't waiting for any of us.
No, it's not.
So
no, it is
we
not.
have to be committed
Yes,
to our
to
very
ourselves.
best lives.
Right. That's
Yeah.
right. I believe that. I
Mhm.
think that's true. So, let's go back to the workshop because you can see I'm very interested in that. So, is it mostly for women? Is it mainly for women?
It's mainly I like to keep it all women, and I like to keep it pretty small, because the things that we share are very, very intimate.
Okay.
So
Okay.
most women are more comfortable. Yeah.
And so one of those workshops, like, are we going to be there all day? Is it a workshop? So give us an idea of what to
expect. So the Honey
expect.
experience is a one-day workshop.
Okay.
And so what Honey stands for healing, oneness, nurturing, essence, and yes.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So healing, basically coming back to the perfection
Mm-hmm.
that you already are.
Mm-hmm.
Oneness, coming back into alignment with who God says you are and what you are.
And who He created us
and
to
who
be.
He created you to be, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going into all of those sessions. And there's a lot of interaction there, a lot of fun, a lot of surprises, a lot of pampering. But the feeling is, you just step into who the queen that you are, the royalty that you are. And so that's the Honey experience. So,
okay. Well, I don't know the viewing audience, but I can't wait. I cannot wait for you to get back into the country.
yes.
So we can have this Honey experience. So tell people your website again so they can sign up for your newsletter.
So Malena Crawford, that is Malena Crawford, Crawford.com, and just sign up and you will get treats from me shortly. And
Treats?
Treats, yes. And you will know everything that we're doing, and I'm just so excited for this movement. I am.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited as well. I'm really excited for you. So,
Yeah.
so on the website, they can also purchase the workbook. And what about your novel?
Yep, they can get both. But you need to be on the list to get access to the workbook. But
Okay.
you can get the novel. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the workbook is for purchase, correct?
The workbook is for purchase. And also the novel we're re-editing. We're in the process of re-editing. So when you get on the list, you'll get a notification of when the new edition is available.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were inspired by your story, your situation.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that is, that's how God got you to your greatness.
Right.
Not to or anything like that, because I know it's not a situation that anyone would choose.
Right.
But you took that and you turned it around
Mm-hmm.
into something very positive,
Yeah.
not only for yourself and your family,
Mm-hmm.
to help others.
Yeah.
Not only, not just homeless, not just
Mm-hmm.
people who can identify
Mm-hmm.
with your homelessness, but just as a human being, as a woman in general,
Right.
To know that, inside of you is a queen.
Oh yes.
And to know that, you were created by God, you know, in His image and in His likeness. So,
Right.
you know, what's not to be great about us as people,
and not having shame with your queendom process, right? So when you're
because everybody's not born with the crown. I mean, there are some who are, but you know, we don't come with the crown on our heads. I mean, again, it's a process.
Right. So I attribute my homelessness experience with I have an incredible depth of compassion, and I can interact and understand and have intuition with anyone in the world. I mean, from people who are in my position to billionaires, because of what that developed in me. So I am grateful, so incredibly grateful for that experience, so incredibly grateful for my parents who were like, no, you're amazing. You're brilliant.
Right.
You know,
right.
I don't care.
Regardless of the situation and the circumstance.
Exactly. I don't care where we sleep.
It doesn't change who you
brilliant.
are.
It doesn't.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's the message that I have for anyone who comes into my path. And that's the message I have for my daughter. Get to that throne.
Well, that's good because I think it starts early. You know, the self-esteem, and you know, that's a big challenge, I think, now in the school systems, you know, because there's so much bullying. And I had a guest on my show not too long ago, and the subject was domestic violence. And she was saying that now they have to go into the middle schools to really deal with the kids, even at that age, with, you know, being in a domestic violence situation. And it's not, you know, domestic because they don't live together, but they, you know, they're dating an intimate partner. And if one is being abused mentally or physically, then that becomes a domestic abuse situation. So, but I say all that to say that, you know, if the victim knows that she's a queen, then she wouldn't allow it.
Right.
You know, it happens one time and you're like, nope, that's not for me because I'm a queen and I won't allow myself to be in that situation. You know, but I think, you know, you starting with your daughter at such an early age, I think that is so critical. You know, and that brings me to another question that I just thought of. So we know you have the honey experience. Is it called the honey experience?
Yes.
For women, are you doing anything with young girls in terms of together in a group? Have you thought of that?
I'm in the process of doing that. So my daughter now is in middle school, which is a crucial age. And I said to a principal, look, we have to work with these girls. You know, they've got questions that they need answers to, but they're not asking. Or they're getting it from their peers. And we all know how detrimental that can be. So I want them to have a safe place where they start to get those and start to see themselves, you know, how they really are. So yeah, that absolutely is in the works.
Well, that's great. That's great to hear.
Yeah, it's a must.
It is a must.
These kids are brilliant. They've come here brilliant, and we owe it to them to pass this on.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, I mean, it's just we could go on, and I wish we had more time, but regretfully, we're running out of time. Okay. So, what's one thing that you'd like to leave our audience with tonight?
One thing, you are honey sweet, okay, and I just want you to celebrate yourself. Check out the book, A Fistful of Honey, when it comes out. Have a party, get your people together, and just celebrate who you are.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Malena. Thank you so much. And again, give us your website one last time before we sign off.
MalenaCrawford.com.
And so sign up, and you will start, and folks, you promised us if we sign up. So we're looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to her honey experience workshop. So again, sign up on her website to stay in tune with her through her newsletter and other information. I am Kathleen Driver. I am your host for Savvy, the show featuring entrepreneurs, authors, and people with a passion. And once again, I thank my very passionate Malena Crawford. Thank you.
Thank you so much.